Have you ever felt empty even when nothing is technically wrong? Your life looks fine from the outside. You function. You smile when required. You do what needs to be done. But inside there is a strange quiet. Not peace, not calm, just nothing. And the worst part is you don't even know what's missing. Here's a psychology fact most people never hear. Emptiness is not the absence of happiness. It is the absence of connection. And once you understand this, you will stop blaming yourself for feeling this way. Because people who feel empty all the time are not broken. They are disconnected. At first, emptiness feels subtle. It doesn't arrive as pain. It arrives as numbness. You wake up, but you don't really feel awake. You talk to people, but the words don't land. You enjoy things, but the enjoyment feels distant, like it's happening behind glass. And you tell yourself that maybe you're just tired, or bored, or ungrateful. But emptiness is not laziness, and it is not weakness. Psychology calls this emotional disconnection, and it usually begins quietly. Most people assume emptiness comes from loss, a breakup, a failure, a traumatic event. But for many people, emptiness comes from something else. From learning, very early in life, that your emotions were inconvenient. Maybe no one taught you how to feel safely. Maybe expressing yourself led to rejection, or dismissal, or silence. So you adapted. You learned to stay composed. You learned to be strong. You learned to not need too much. And your nervous system learned a rule. Feeling deeply is dangerous, so instead of processing emotions, your mind learned to shut them down. Not all at once, not dramatically, slowly, quietly, until one day you stopped feeling much at all.
This is where many people get confused. They think emptiness means they lack purpose, so they chase goals, achievements, validation. They think, if I just do more, I'll finally feel something. But emptiness doesn't come from lack of success. It comes from lack of emotional presence. You can be busy and empty, loved and empty, accomplished and empty, because emptiness is not about what you have. It's about what you're disconnected from. And most often, it's yourself. Psychology explains this through something called emotional suppression. When emotions are repeatedly ignored or invalidated, the brain doesn't stop producing them. It just stops letting you feel them consciously. So sadness doesn't disappear. It goes underground. Anger doesn't disappear. It becomes tension. Joy doesn't disappear. It becomes muted. And over time, everything starts to feel flat. Not because you feel nothing, but because you feel too much, and your system learned to numb itself. People who feel empty often say something important. I don't know what I feel. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. That's not confusion. That's disconnection. When you spend years prioritizing survival over self-expression, you lose access to your inner signals. Your emotions stop guiding you. Your desires go quiet. Your intuition feels distant. So you live logically, rationally, responsibly, but without depth, and the mind cannot replace what the heart was meant to do. Here's where it gets darker. Many people who feel empty are actually highly sensitive. They feel deeply by nature. But because they were never taught how to hold that sensitivity safely, they learned to shut it down. So emptiness is not lack of feeling. It is blocked feeling, like a river held back by a dam. The water is still there. It's just not flowing. And when emotions don't move, they don't disappear. They turn into exhaustion, restlessness, a quiet sense of meaninglessness. Neuroscience gives us another clue. People who feel chronically empty often live mostly in their thinking brain. They analyze, reflect, overthink, but they are disconnected from their bodily sensations. They don't notice their breath, their tension, their emotional cues. So life becomes something they think about instead of something they experience. And no amount of understanding can replace experience. You can explain happiness, But explanation is not the same as feeling alive. This is why emptiness often comes with guilt. You think, nothing bad is happening. Why do I feel like this? So you judge yourself. You suppress it more. You tell yourself to be grateful. But guilt deepens emptiness. Because now you're not only disconnected, you're also ashamed of being disconnected. And shame makes the nervous system close further. Here's the painful truth. Emptiness is often a sign that you became functional before you became emotionally safe. You learned to perform, to adapt, to be acceptable, but no one taught you how to exist as you are. So your system stayed alert, controlled, guarded, and guarded systems don't feel alive. They feel empty. But emptiness is not permanent. And this is important. You do not heal emptiness by forcing positivity. You don't heal it by distracting yourself. You heal it by reconnecting slowly, gently, safely. The first step is understanding this. Emptiness is not your enemy. It is a signal, a message from a part of you that learned to disappear to survive. And that part doesn't need fixing. It needs permission. Permission to feel again. Start small, not with big life changes, not with dramatic breakthroughs. Start with noticing. Notice tension in your body. Notice when you disconnect. Notice when something moves you, even slightly. Emotions return through attention, not pressure. The second step is allowing discomfort, because numbness protects you from pain. And when numbness fades, feeling returns, including sadness, fear, grief. That doesn't mean you're getting worse. It means you're reconnecting. Feeling again is not regression. It is recovery. And finally, connection heals emptiness. Not crowds, not validation, but honest presence. One person, one moment, one truth spoken without performance. You don't need to explain yourself perfectly. You don't need to be interesting. You just need to be real. And real presence is what the nervous system recognizes as safety. If you feel empty all the time, it doesn't mean you lack depth. It means you lost access to it. And depth doesn't disappear. It waits quietly until you are ready to come back to yourself. If this video felt uncomfortably accurate, that's not coincidence. It means this message reached the part of you that hasn't been heard in a long time. Write in the comments, I choose reconnection, and keep watching, because in the next video, we'll explore why some people fear happiness, even when they finally have it.